Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Mid-Toer Thoughts. It's me, Austin, and I have a long-awaited guest for you guys. The one, the only, Mike is back.
What's up, dude?
Long time no see. You've been a very busy boy in the last couple of weeks, so it's understandable. We've loved you, though. We missed you. If you want, do you want to kind of like fill everybody in on like what your situation has been?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So before when I had to get off the pod and everything like that, I was super busy with school over in Washington and I was dealing with the brand new baby situation. And honestly, I knew I had to take a break from Mid-Tier Thoughts for a while just because like I was going to dedicate so much time to that. That it worked out really well because by the time my wife was fully recovered and she got out of the military, she's no longer active duty anymore. Uh, and we both were like, "Hey, we both hate Washington. We both hate this liberal cuck shit. So we're ready to get out of here. Plus, we don't want our son just being raised around that shit all the time."
Yeah,
And like, it's scary when you look into the school systems. You look into like what they're actually teaching and shit. It's like critical race theory, everything like that is on the
yeah.
list with the Washington State, dude. And, like,
That
we
that
don't
was a
want our
big reason
son.
for us to move too. When we moved,
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
lot of the education system stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I don't. You're the last person I have to explain that to. Like you were
Yeah,
like, man, I
yeah.
don't want my kids learning this fucking bullshit.
Exactly. Well, and the thing was, like, when we lived in Washington, they were going to a private Christian school at the time. But the thing was, it's like that only lasts for as long as the money does. And,
Mhm.
if we ever ran out of money and we had to throw them into public school, like, well, we were not about to do that. So we crossed the border, and then, shortly thereafter, you did too. And now you're an Idaho spud like me.
Yeah, exactly. Do a little Idahoan now.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
so
I was going to say,
any of
for our
the,
list, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say all the boot boys that are over here in the Idaho region.
Yeah.
You're right. Reconnect with me. What's up, dudes?
Yeah, if any of you guys have ever wanted to meet Mike and you're in the North Idaho area, hit us up for sure. I was going to say, speaking of that, we actually live relatively close to each other, probably about 10, 15 minutes away from each other at this point. So
Mhm.
expect more videos like this. I expect more, hopefully, video podcasts to come in the future, not just audio, but also Mike popping in on the YouTube channel and just kind of more of Mike in general.
Yeah, finally, dude. I'm in this God
Yeah.
loving state. Like I can't even express to you guys how much happier I am that I'm over here.
It's funny you say that because I remember talking to my wife whenever we finally got our house over here, and like every time we'd move stuff over, it was like we felt once we crossed the border from Washington to Idaho, like a literal weight was lifted off of our shoulders. It was pretty wild to
Oh,
explain. Do you feel something similar to that?
dude, it's like imagine living in a foreign country for a long time and you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I cannot believe this is real. Like all the time you're just
Yeah,
like, wow, I cannot believe this is real. And then you go back to someplace you're familiar to and you're like, normal. Like this is how home should feel. Like that's the feeling we had.
exactly. Exactly. I like hit it right on the head, man. Like this feels like home. you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. But yeah, dude, it's good that you're back. So,
Some of these
we
fucking
missed you for
spiders,
sure.
dude. Dude, have you seen these fucking spiders out here? They're the
Oh,
biggest brown spiders I've ever seen in my life.
whenever we first got our house, I went and immediately bought like a ridiculous amount of bug spray, like probably a criminal amount of bug spray, and just sprayed like all the bug barrier stuff. Like I hate spiders, and our first year here, they were everywhere, and I sprayed pretty good all over the inside, outside, all that, and I haven't seen them since. So like one or two occasionally, but I think we got a
Yeah, dude.
handle on it because they are everywhere.
Why is Idaho covered in spiders, dude?
I don't know, dude. I was like, this was not in the brochure.
Like, are they living in the potatoes? Someone has to like give me the
yeah,
background story here, dude. Because these are the biggest brown motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life,
yeah, they're everywhere, man.
and
Like
they're
they're all over the place.
everywhere. There's like
Yeah,
three of them on the outside of my house, and I'm like, what is going on, dude? I'm gonna buy a
yeah.
flamethrower.
Dude, the first August I was here, like I'd been here for like 2, 3 months, and it was just like 4 or 5 a day I'd see, and I'd be like, "Oh my god!"
And I'll be honest with you guys, like I act like a man in a lot of situations. You want to see me turn into a little girl, dude? Put me like face to face with a spider like that. I'm not
Well, dude,
okay.
so that you can go get like that ortho bug killer spray stuff, and
Hmm.
I went and bought like it's like in the gallons with the little electronic sprayer. I think I went through 3 of those, and I sprayed like every entryway, window, tunnel, air vent, wall. Like if it could be
Every
sprayed, I freaking sprayed it. And I was like, there will be no bugs this day.
dude, that's like how I feel like all of our Arizona listeners. I don't know how you fucking do it, dude. Like I have to worry about like translucent what are they called? Pinchers. Uh scorpions.
Scorpions?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
the
oh, screw
fuck,
that,
dude?
dude. Those are like those are the next level up from spiders, right? It's
What, yeah,
like
what the
those are
fuck?
the Dark Souls spiders.
Dude, that's insane. Cause like that thing can actually get you. Like that thing can
Yeah.
actually mess you up.
It's like spiders are creepy, and like most spiders around here, like yeah,
Won't
there are
bite
some
you.
bad ones, but it's like if they even if they do,
Yeah.
it's an inconvenience. We don't have a ton of poison spiders up here. I mean, we do, but it's like the
Yeah.
odds
I
are in
think
your
it's like
favor, right?
the wolf spider or something like that, the brown recluse
Yeah,
or something like that is.
but I mean, for the most part around here, you're pretty good, right? But
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's yeah.
a scorpion can actually mess you up.
Yeah, dude, and you won't even see it unless you're walking with a black light at night, dude.
Yeah, it's wild.
Anyway, I don't
But
know
yeah,
where we're
man.
going with that. That's
Yeah,
insane.
me neither. I do know where I wanted to go with this though,
Yeah,
and
what's up?
that's Men for Kamala.
Okay,
Have you
Austin,
seen that commercial yet?
I just want to tell you that I grew up in a middle class family where no way,
No,
bro.
you do. You got to do it with an accent, depending on the demographic you're
Yeah,
talking
depending on
to.
who I'm around. Will you
Yeah,
see
did you see that?
Austin?
You'll see all the people,
you you
the
want the
Vietnamese
lemon
people,
flavor?
Beijing Kong.
Hiya. Yeah, I fucking love that
Dude,
dude.
I love that commercial where like everyone in that commercial is either looks like an overweight nerd or gay,
Yeah.
and everyone's just like, I'm not afraid of women. It's like, yeah, because you suck dicks.
They looked into the
I eat
background of all the
carburetors for breakfast. Yeah, and like a whole lot of diabetes, bud.
yeah, Jesus Christ, my homie. That dude was pushing 450.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you ain't working on a farm. That farm's working on you.
Jesus Christ.
You're
Dude.
the hog, dude.
That's anyone that ever said that there's like a food crisis in America, dude. We have an obesity
And,
problem.
and they had like that old biker guy with the beard who just reminded me of all the memes where it's like, you know, born to shit, forced to wipe.
I'm a Hell's Angel and I'm for Kamala Harris.
I
A,
told Deborah, you bring me my beer cold next time.
a known racial like I think the Hell's Angels were incredibly racist. Like
I
so,
have no idea. I
and
have
now
no
I think they
idea.
were. Like I remember watching like a bunch of like history on background on Hell's Angels because I'm into
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Like the aviators getting out back in the day that
Hmm.
like became the Hell's Angels, and they
Yeah.
were known like racists. Did not mess with like brown people,
Could be.
but they
Could
have a
be.
Hell's Angels that's like now I'm actually for Kamala.
Yeah. For
She's
brown
it,
people and women.
she's one of the good browns if you catch my drift.
Uh, I just felt like that whole commercial was like someone who'd never met a guy, like a straight man, and was like, "What
Yeah.
do guys like?" And they're just like, they like this stuff. Yeah, let's do it. And
It's like
there was another one they put out too, and it was like a rock song, and the guy's like, I like drinking beers in my garage and following the rules, and I like Tim Walz and Kamala Harris too. And it was literally like that. Like I'm not exaggerating. It was like to that too. Like it sounded like a Saturday Night Live skit,
yeah.
you know, but it was real. And
Yeah.
you're like, who greenlight this? Who was like was there not one single straight male
That's
in
what I
that office?
that
They were like, hey, screen this real quick.
that's what I feel like. The writer's office, like in the back with all the comedians, was just a table of gay men and like females, and that they were just
Yeah,
like they were using AI prompts to make men.
Slay Queen.
They're like, "What does men like?" Like on AI, it's just like a super fucked up, distorted
Yeah,
picture. That's what.
they're just
Yeah.
going on Google.
Yeah.
You know, like those Google things where like they rip away on like the top 10 Google questions, and it's like, do men like carburetors?
I know what that is.
Dude, I was like, I feel like I could like AI a better commercial than that. You know, like on those little like AI prompt deals that like pump out art. I'm pretty sure I could come up with a better one.
Honestly, I feel like you could have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my 9-year-old son could have come up with a better one. He'd at least be like Marvel superheroes
Or it's just
and
like he's
guns
like, you know, it'd be
with
dope.
monster trucks.
Throw a fucking dinosaur in that bitch.
Dude, you know what would have been better if they just took like those ones where it's like George Washington riding a dinosaur with machine guns. It was just like, then they just put Kamala Harris on it, right? Because like that would have been a better commercial.
Do you like women? Well, if you vote for Trump, you're gay. Oh man, I gotta vote for Kamala.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that Family Guy skit where they're like, "Well, what we're forgetting here is whoever doesn't want to go to war with Iraq, he's gay. I want to go to war. Yeah, I don't want to go to war. I totally want to go to
I want
war.
to go
I
to
want
war
to go
right
to war
now.
yesterday."
Jesus.
Oh Jesus,
Dude,
dude.
Trump roasted
But
the
yeah,
fuck out of them, though, dude. I don't even like Trump that much, but Trump roasted the fuck out of them.
dude,
When he was like,
he was
people that vote for Kamala
good.
Harris are the same, like, he's not worried about her or something like that because
Yeah,
their wives and
it was.
boyfriends.
I'm not worried about the men for Kamala because their wives and their wives' boyfriends are voting for
Yeah.
me. I was dying.
Dude.
Dude, and he was like, he did the other one, and he's like, "Don't worry, Chuck Schumer, you didn't get your chance." But he's like, "You don't worry, Chuck Schumer, Kamala's not going to win. But as progressive as your party is, you still have a chance to be the first female president."
Bro.
I was like, "Bro, that's my boy. That's my boy right there."
Even if he doesn't
But
win,
dude,
dude.
speaking of that,
Even if he doesn't win, dude,
dude, let's get a little
going down screaming, dude.
Dude, well, speaking of that, let's get a little conspiratorial
Let me
here.
hear.
I'm a conspiratorial. I mean, like, definitely going to happen. So, uh, tons of people across the spectrum, not even like the people who normally talk about this kind of stuff, but like normies are even talking about potential conflict. Come the time of the election. And I think it's really interesting to kind of see like this more out in the open in the common space and not just regarded to like circles like you and me chit chatting about this, but like normal people and even like mainstream news agencies being like risk of civil war question mark.
Yeah.
Um, and it makes me think like it's like, makes me think about it. And I know I've been personally approached by some people lately, some people I go to church with and everything about people who are like, hey, you know, we see the writing on the wall and we want to start getting ready. And I've seen more and more people start to realize that. Personally, I think that like if you're just now starting, you're behind the game. So you need to kind of kick it into overdrive. But yeah, it's like, what do you think something's going to happen? Do you think it's all just hula baloo?
Well, I've ridden this country out in a lot of fucked up situations, and we were in the military in a situation where people thought that the military was doing too much, like because we were in during the Trump era. So like,
I mean, yeah, well, heck, I was in the end of Obama, all of Trump, and early Biden.
yeah, I was all of Trump and then early Biden, for, like right when I got out.
Yeah,
So like, I don't know, man.
yeah. I go back and forth on it because I think it's things where it's like I remember. Go ahead.
Mine's count. I had to. It might have reset the recording, so I got a phone call.
Oh no, you're good. It still got you.
Okay, cool.
As long as I don't get a phone call, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Um, I'd say I remember being in on active duty in 2014 and again in 2016, I think it was, whenever the Bundy Ranch happened. The original Bundy Ranch down in Nevada with the government standoff there, and then the one out in the Mulehauser standoff out in Oregon with the same guys. And I remember thinking, like, man, if this goes hot, this could go real south. But at the time, I don't think like the average normal
Was
person
talking.
was up for anything at
Yeah,
that time. But it's like that's the thing that worries me is it's like it's
but
normal
that
people. And by normal people, I mean like the people who are not politically active, the people who are not in this like Minuteman type space. It's the normal people. Yeah, it's just it's not people like you and me or people that are like live and breathe this kind of stuff. It's normal people who aren't politically active, people who aren't like preppers or anything. there's just normal people who are like, dude, I
Well, it's
don't
also
know.
that these normal people have been pushed to the brinks that they've never reached before. Like normal people have never felt this poor. They've never had buying power like they their parents had, where $100 meant something. Nowadays, dude, you have to make buku bucks to be a normal person. Like you have to make an incredible amount of money just to live in a
Yeah,
nice house, and you don't even own it. You're just renting it from one of these huge corporations like a fucking BlackRock or something, or Vanguard.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly, dude. Well, that's one of those things where it's like when that hurricane hit North Carolina. There's a lot of talk about the path that it went had just so happened to hit a lot of very mineral rich areas that just so happened to be on the chopping block for BlackRock and Vanguard to purchase. That just so happened to be in areas that I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but it was like basically the government can rule certain areas as like uninhabitable at post natural disasters and then sell them
Hmm.
off to recoup money lost. And the person in charge of that BlackRock account that wanted that land was Kamala Harris's husband.
That's pretty good.
And so the person required to sign off on the government deal on that end would be the president. So if she gets elected, that would make, and that went through, she'd make like, yeah, I think they were saying like the quartz, one of the quartz mines that's on that area, which is like the only high value quartz mine like that in the world, where they use this to kind of fuel the whole AI thing. They were saying it's something like brings in like $250 billion every year.
No shit.
Yeah, and so like there's a whole lot of stuff. I mean, like there's a whole lot of things right now. I think between the hurricane response, between all the stuff going on with the illegal immigrants and everything, where we've had incidents and crisis before in our country where it's been like one or two like one thing here. It's like we have just an illegal immigrant crisis, or we have just a major disaster. But it's like now it's like 2024. We've had all of it at once.
And
You
it's
know what I
crazy
mean?
because the
Like
amount, like as you're saying that, like 100%, man, like our country's never hit a boiling point like this before, where people are so fed up with everything, like they just cannot stand the federal government right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's like this massive amount of things where it's like, okay, you have all the illegal immigrant stuff coming up, where you have millions of people coming in, they're being paid for, they're being shipped to all these conservative towns, all these small towns. Like there was that one town, Springfield, Ohio, or I don't think it was like outside of Springfield. There was a town where it was like 4,000 people, and they shipped in
Hmm.
2,000 Haitians. You just massively change the demographics of that town, and the infrastructure is not there to
Yeah.
support these people. But so they're getting all this money and all this stuff. Then while that's going on, you have that as an issue already. Then the hurricane hits, and we're already funding Israel and Taiwan and Ukraine. And, so we've got all that crisis going on. The hurricane hits. We've got these people just completely devastated. The government not coming in and helping in any manner. And then on top of it, Kamala being like, hey, we just spent was 158 million or 158 million dollars over to Lebanon because the people are having a crisis. It's like while our own people are having a crisis, and she's like, "Oh, but no, don't worry. We gave you $750, but to get that $750, you have to go online, sign up for a thing, get approved, then you'll get an electronic transfer of money. Oh, but you don't have power to do any of that. You don't have cell phone service to do any of that. And even if you did, all of the places you would spend that money were just wiped off the map by a
Yeah.
fucking hurricane. And the worst part about it is the $750 relief that they're offering you is a loan. You have to pay it back.
That's insane, bro.
So it's like all of that piles on top of each other. And everyone's just like, I don't want this
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden people are seeing like,
You
how
know?
come we should have never trusted the federal government in any form of fashion for any of that. And the federal government should have been a tiny, tiny entity this entire time.
Absolutely, dude. Well, that's the thing. It's like, look, they suck at everything they do. I mean, look at like Hurricane Helene, right? The first several days before, it was like I think a week before FEMA even arrived, and they still haven't done shit. But in that meantime, how many times did you see? I don't know if you were seeing it because you were moving right about that time, but there was dudes bringing
Yeah,
in
and they're
private
yeah they're
helicopters
kicking them out.
and doing rescues and bringing in food and water. Yeah, well, and this is right before they started kicking them out. But like even then, yeah, like these dudes were still coming through even when they were getting kicked out. They're like, screw you, I'm still doing this. And, like try and stop me. And it was like, Sean Ryan was doing an interview with a guy. I want to say like Air Rescue or something like that. I can't remember exact Air Recovery, something like that. I'm having trouble with the name, but these were dudes that they were part of the Florida State Guard, and they went out with with some guys from North Carolina, and there was like 40 people there with private helicopters, all paying
Yeah.
out of their own pocket to help people, and then all the fundraisers and drives and stuff like that, and all the stuff that was going to help those people, and people pulling in wagon trains and mules, and the people were helping people a lot more than the government was. And when the government rolled in, they
No,
didn't
they
do
gave
anything.
you an application for $750, which is a jokeable amount of money nowadays.
Yeah, well, yeah. First off, it's a jokeable amount of money, and secondly, it's like, cool. Your entire town got wiped out, and the roads are destroyed. How are you spending it? And even if you like had the ability to go online, like Amazon order food and water, how are they getting it to you? The road doesn't exist. I mean, the infrastructure of that area has been pushed back to
Yeah.
like pre-Civil War. It's not like it just took out a bit of road. It like washed away the mountainside. It's not like they just have to repave it and level it. They have to
They're saying
recarve the
that certain
road.
roads and certain like water and electricity and shit is going to be out for like years.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, you've got bridges there that are, colonial era, 17, 1800s that have been just modified over time, and now they're just gone. It's going to be like, you think about this, right? Like the economic impact of that area. That you live 15 minutes from your small town mechanic job, right? But that 15-minute drive requires you to cross a bridge. Well, now it's a 3-hour drive if
Yeah,
your
if they
job's
get
still
washed out.
there.
Hey guys, sorry to cut this one short. Unfortunately, during our post-production, we realized that we actually lost the other half of the footage that we were trying to talk about in this episode. So we lost about 25 minutes of footage, unfortunately. But we didn't want to make you guys wait another week. It's already been 3 weeks since we put out our last episode. So we wanted to make sure we got something out to you guys, kind of let you know what's going on, let you know we're alive and breathing, kind of signs of life. Also, we want to make sure that you guys are all aware of our fundraiser we have going on. Check the links in the description for the GoFundMe. Every $5 you donate will get you an entry into the giveaway. The giveaway will have some awesome prizes, so make sure you put your name in there when it asks for it so we know who you are and we can kind of keep track of who is donating. With that being said, some of the stuff that is in the giveaway is going to be, there's 2 uppers from Bear Creek Arsenal, a 20-inch retro upper, and a 10.5-inch upper as well. Also, those are both 5.56. We've got a tack light coming in from Next Torch. We've got EDC belt coming in from Core Essentials, a couple of holsters from 1791, shooting mat, a bunch of goodies. So a bunch of cool stuff coming in. A bunch of cool things you guys can check out. Also, with Mike now living in Idaho, if you live in the North Idaho area or in and around the Coeur d'Alene area, Spokane, whatever, you guys want to meet up with us, hit us up on Instagram. We'll try to organize some kind of meet and greet, maybe go shooting together. If you're looking for someone to hook up with as far as kind of make your tribe, we are totally open to meeting new people. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I apologize so much for this being kind of a messed up episode with the technical difficulties and everything. We were attempting to try to do our first video episode, and so far, every time we try to do a video episode, it hasn't worked out well. So I apologize again. Like I said, we want to give you guys good stuff and quality products, but unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way, and we didn't want to make you guys wait another week. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. We will catch you on the next one. Hopefully now that me and Mike are closer together and have better schedules, we'll be able to pump these out quicker and more efficiently and get them out to you more often. So thank you guys so much for being fans of Mid-Toer Thoughts. You guys are awesome. Without you guys, we would be nothing. So thank you and have a good one. Bye.